Before starting this course on career counseling, it is extremely important to understand why you should take your career choice seriously. In this video, we will help you understand the importance of making the right career choice for yourself. So, why is your career choice so important? It is important because it determines a lot of things in your life, including number 1, quality of life. Your career choice plays a huge role in deciding where you live, how flexible your life is, and the kinds of things you are able to do in your free time. Number 2, identity. Ask any elder person about their career and they will tell you about it as a part of their identity. They'll say something like, I am a journalist, instead of, I report news. Notice how everybody asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And not, what do you want to do when you grow up? This shows that your career choice shapes your identity. Number 3, impact. Every human life touches thousands of other lives in so many different ways. If you select any 60-year-old person who is about to retire, take a time machine, find him as an infant, throw that infant into trash, and then come back to the present day, you'll find that a countless number of things around you have changed. So whatever career you choose, the world will be affected by it. Anything that determines your quality of life, your identity, and the impact that you make should be taken very seriously. And that includes your career choice also. So we hope that this short video could help you understand the importance of making the right career choice. Having done that, we will now move forward to start our career counseling course. We are pretty excited and we hope you are too. So, let's begin. See you.
Hello everyone, welcome to day 26 of ProBano's live podcast. Firstly, welcome to all the audience members. Welcome Aditya and welcome Mr. Sen. Today I guess we have an interesting guest to say the very least. We have Verhaen Khanna. नाम मैंने भी पहले confused हुआ था. Aditya was telling me Verhaen. So Verhaen will probably tell us the exact pronunciation. We'll get to that. So firstly, Verhaen ji, thank you so much for being with us today. Welcome to our podcast. I hope you're doing well. So firstly guys, Verhaen Khanna is a commercial pilot and is also the founder of New Delhi Nature Society, which basically works for the protection of animals and trees in the city. And so far NDNS have taught thousands of people of all ages to climb trees and also conduct workshops in schools and colleges. They've also worked with the RWA to start a colony level waste management system. And through the course of this podcast, Aditya will be posting links to their social media, their website, and ways to connect with them if you want to volunteer, if you want to work with them. So, without further ado, we'll bring Verhaen into the conversation. Verhaen ji, welcome. Thank you for being with us. If you could introduce yourself and address the audience in your own words. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much. It's great to be on the show. Thank you for organizing it. I think it's really important what you guys are doing, and so many people are still getting their awareness out there through this program. So my name is Verhaen Khanna. I'm the founder of New Delhi Nature Society. We are trying to protect the environment, spreading awareness, doing workshops in schools and colleges. I'm also a commercial pilot, so I had to learn a lot of things by myself to do this kind of work. I started this NGO around 2014. Since then, many people have joined us. And, I have some short videos also to share today. So those videos will help to describe the things that I'm talking about. Can I share one video just now?
Sure, Viren, why not?
Okay. Okay, so we'll start with this. So I started this NGO so that I could protect the environment, because I saw the environment is getting destroyed, and I could always go back to flying later, but we can't protect the environment later. We need to protect it right now. Here's another short video which we made.
Meet Verhaen.
Hi, I'm Verhaen Khanna and I'm all about nature.
Verhaen is a commercial pilot who quit his job to save one of the most polluted cities in the world.
Many people are suffering from tree blindness. They notice each other's cars, clothes and houses, but they don't notice the trees around them.
He established
New Delhi Nature Society.
in 2014. This all began as a Facebook page where he posted everyday photographs of yoga and campouts amidst nature, and the response was good because people were more interested in it. One of the most interesting part is that he has a YouTube channel where he uploads 2 series of videos
Covering interviews with people doing environment related work and WTF quickies.
every Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Thus, WTF.
I've seen people being transformed with the help of our workshops and videos.
Now 4,000 people volunteer with him to make the city greener because
So humans need nature to survive. So let's go out and have some fun in nature.
that's Verhaen.
So yeah, that was just an introduction video about some of the things that we do. And yeah, it's important to connect people with nature, especially seeing the trends of how things are going in today's times. We've also seen now, because of this lockdown, human activity outside has reduced a lot. So it's we're seeing how the environment has improved, air pollution has gone down, the rivers are becoming cleaner, there are more wild animals who are getting to use the space of the planet, all over the planet actually, not just in one place. And yeah, so there's an important lesson to learn in this, that we need to protect our environment, and we need the environment for ourselves to exist. So yeah, we do many different interesting activities to get people in touch with nature. If they have a good experience, then they would want more people to enjoy that experience. So we give them that good experience in nature. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, Viren, thank you so much for that. बहुत ही अच्छे videos थे. Aditya, if you can post the links to the YouTube channel in the comment section. I'm occupied with the OBS, so you'll have to do that for me for today. So let's see, we have a few people in the comments. Firstly, Krishna is here, Sonu Jaiswal, Pushkar Das, Sudipta Guchet. Is that how you pronounce it? I hope I'm not butchering your name. Anita ji is here and Shika ji as well. Firstly, yeah, Pushkar Das says, hello Maverick. I'm pretty sure that's a reference to the movie Top Gun. So,
Yeah.
okay, let's see. Yeah, great. So guys, आपके कोई भी question है, कोई भी queries or anything you want to say regarding, Verhaen was a pilot before, commercial pilot. Now is working to protect animals and trees. सो आपकी कोई भी क्वेश्चन है बिल्कुल कमेंट्स में लगा दीजिए एंड विल गेट टू देम एज सून एज पॉसिबल. सो वीरेन जी, फर्स्टली आई गेस मोस्ट क्यूरियस क्वेश्चन आई गेस सबके दिमाग में चल रहा है. सो हाउ डिड यू बिकम अ पायलट? फर्स्टली हाउ डिड दैट इंस्पिरेशन कम अलोंग? और फिर पायलट से हाउ डू यू मेक दिस इनटू प्रोटेक्टिंग trees and animals? Like it's not even closely even related. So how did that
Yeah.
transition go? What inspired you to change your life 2 times?
So actually, after school, I studied international business in London, and then it was a very boring course because it was the same stuff that we studied in school in India. So I changed my course. I went to USA to learn flying. From there, I decided to fly in India, but the system was really backward, and like to give these exams. It was done with a human, and in the US, it was done with a computer. So it was, and we had to wait for 4 months to get the exam date and everything. Whereas in the US, it was same day you just apply and go and get the exam. So like that, a lot of time was getting wasted here, and then I wanted to use my time valuably. So I saw how the environment is getting destroyed. And Delhi is like my hometown, so I thought I was the only person who was seeing this environment getting destroyed. Nobody else is doing anything. And so if I just keep sitting and waiting for somebody else to fix the environment, nothing is going to happen. Nobody is going to come, and your environment will keep getting destroyed. So you have to stand up and start doing something about it. Then I realized that whatever skills you have, whatever things you've learned in your life, you can put that to use either for a good cause or a bad cause. And like it could be for art, music, any kind of thing, whether you're an engineer or good at advertising. So for everything, like even a knife has a good and bad cause. Doctors use it for surgery, and some bad people also use it. So whatever skills we have, I think we need to figure out what is important. And nowadays we're seeing that a lot of industries have to shut down because they're not so essential. Some are essential, so that's one way of thinking about it. Seeing what kind of work is going on nowadays. These are the important things which people can nourish in their own skills. And so going to school, going to the youth through social media, we created short awareness videos. We put awareness materials, pictures, and all to motivate people how to care about nature. The idea was to make nature like a cool thing. So we started these cool bags also, which are made of cloth, and like we put this idea out there that every school bag should have a cool bag, and all the cool children carry cool bags because they don't carry plastic bags. So it's a really small bag and fits in your pocket. I can show you a short video now. I'm going to share the screen. This is
Sure. Acha, Verhaen, just one thing. The audience is saying probably the volume at your end is a bit low, so probably you can try and if you can speak a bit loudly.
Okay.
Throw them away, and then they either burn or end up in animal stomachs. Plastic remains in the... Did you know that you can be penalized for using a plastic bag? We use plastic bags for 1 or 2 minutes, and then we throw them away, and then they either burn or end up in animal stomachs. Plastic remains in the landfills for thousands of years since it's not biodegradable. This is a cloth bag, and they can be used for many years. They're washable, reusable, and if they get damaged, they can be stitched or simply throw them in the soil and watch them decompose. New Delhi Nature Society makes these beautiful bags called cool bags. They're called cool bags because cool people don't use plastic bags. You can buy 5 of these cool bags for just ₹200. They come in different colors and prints and easily fit in your pocket, handbag or car. So WhatsApp on the number below to get your cool bag now. Every school bag should have a cool bag so that your child learns how to say no to a plastic bag when offered by a shop. You can make your own cloth bag by using an old pillowcase and shoelaces or ribbons as handles. Since I've got my cloth bag, I've stopped using plastic bags. So what are you waiting for?
It's a really great kind of offering, I think, for all of us. So Viren, I'll find this video on your YouTube channel, right? On New Delhi Nature Society's YouTube channel.
On our YouTube channel we have all these videos, and we post them on our Facebook page and Instagram page also. That was one of our volunteers. We get volunteers and interns from colleges to help us out. So yeah, that was one of our volunteers. And yes, so when we started this NGO, the idea was not to become rich. I didn't start it to get a big red sports car one day. That was not the idea. To protect the environment. Yeah, so the idea was to protect the environment and not to get rich out of this. The point was to, so I had to use a lot of my savings in the beginning and for at least a few years just to make things run. And in the beginning, I didn't even register this organization. It was just running through a Facebook page. But yeah, then as things became more serious and we started doing more bigger work, then it was important for us to actually get it registered. So we got registered in 2017, and we've organized many nature festivals. I've done workshops with the ministry level also. I get invited to the Ministry of Environment when they're conducting workshops for children. I've connected with many schools and colleges over the years, and a lot of the students, they remember me also year after year when I'm going in there. And some schools I've done, like class 9 and 11 in Mira Model School. For a whole year, I was teaching them environmental sciences. So
Great.
We were learning all that outside the classroom, under the trees, without any books. And we were learning like outdoor survival skills. We were learning about names of trees and wildlife, how to protect the environment. We even got the students to count the trees in the campus. Then that's a very important exercise. If you want to save the trees, you need to know how many trees are there. So I learned all of these things, not doing any course, but actually working with the experts in those fields. So I met them, I worked closely with them, I got a lot of learning from them, mentorship from them. And with their help, I've managed to save a lot of trees and animals here in Delhi. Every day I get calls from all around the city. And, I can't go everywhere. One person cannot be throughout the city anytime. So we connect with other NGOs and other like-minded people around the city, and like that we've created networks through our WhatsApp groups and all. So that way it becomes easier for people to connect and to help out wherever they can. So right now we're also working on an app to save trees. And the idea is like if you see a tree getting cut, you can post it on the app and people in a certain radius, they will get to know that a tree is getting cut near them. So there's also like a discussion so people can guide each other. And yeah, if you're sitting at home and a tree is getting cut near you, so you might get that notification that you can save that tree. Also, yeah, there'll be some guidelines how things you can do to save the trees. I had another short video of some of the animal rescues. I'm going to just share one short clip. So yeah, through this work, I've got to experience interacting with many different animals, from lots of bird rescues. There've been a lot of dogs and cat rescues from different places. We get a lot of squirrels. So even like cows, horses, there've been some cases, and with our involvement, we were able to save them. So yeah, even like for like birds, I had to meet a lot of experts, get guidance from them. I had to learn from them because I didn't study any course or anything. And yeah, so for birds, especially like in Delhi, the vets they're not experienced with treating birds, but there are a few experts like at Sanjay Gandhi Animal Hospital. So yeah, just by learning from them, I've learned how to feed these birds, take care of their first aid at least, and whenever there's some surgery or something required, then we connect with the other NGOs who are certified and they're very well experienced in all. Yeah, and we've also saved a lot of trees from cementing. In the city, you see a lot of people who cement around the trees. So it's just like putting cement in a flower pot. You know, हम गमले के अंदर cement नहीं डालते, मिट्टी होता है उसमें, so that the plant gets water, उसमें पानी जाएगा और पेड़ भी ऐसे चौड़ा हो सकता है. So people forget about these things and they just put cement for any other reason. But there's actually a court order that says cementing around the tree is not allowed. no construction work is allowed within 1 meter of trees. So with the help of the authorities, we've been trying to get the cement removed from many different colonies. But yeah, after getting it removed, some people put the cement again. And some people do it intentionally to kill the trees, but if we report it to the forest department, then they get challan. There's also a penalty of 10,000 rupees for putting nails into trees. So we've been removing nails from trees, and those nails actually cause infections in trees, and they cause the trees to die. I'll just share another video. When do you show that cementing video?
भैया आप ये क्या कर रहे हो? सीमेंट क्यों डाल रहे हो? भैया अगर आप इसके अंदर सीमेंट डालोगे तो आप ये पौधा बढ़ेगा कैसे और इसके अंदर पानी कैसे जाएगा?
ये बात मैं सोचा है।
क्या आपको पता है एनजीटी के ऑर्डर के हिसाब से सारे पेड़ों के चारों तरफ 1 मीटर तक मिट्टी होनी चाहिए। अगर आपके घर के आसपास कोई पेड़ है जहाँ पे सीमेंट लगा हुआ है तो आप उस सीमेंट को हटवा सकते हैं। आप अपने RWA, NCD और PWD को भी बता सकते हैं उस सीमेंट को हटवाने के लिए।
So Viren, I have a question for you, and this is something related to your journey. Now, as Samant asked you, you switched from a commercial pilot to being a environmentalist, and as we could see, it's a great job that New Delhi Nature Society is doing. Guys, everyone who's watching, I have put their YouTube channel's link in the comment section, so please check it out, and all these amazing videos and many more you can watch and gain a lot of awareness about trees, which I think is seriously missing nowadays. And in fact, by watching these videos, I'm myself getting to learn a lot. So it's, I think, a great opportunity for all of us to learn. So having said that, Viren, when you switched from a pilot to becoming a nature activist, what did your parents say? And, what was the conversation back then?
Yeah, in the beginning, it was difficult for them to understand what's happening. Why am I doing this and stuff? Because it's not a conventional thing. People don't usually do all these things. But yeah, I did a lot of meditation at some point in my life, and I realized that your actions are important. There are some things which you have needs and wants. So if you've got all your needs, you have to separate your needs and wants. The needs are necessary and the wants are unnecessary. Usually the wants are, controlled by advertisements and distractions around you, which will make you want different things which you don't really need. So if you've got everything you need, then you stop chasing your wants. So that helps a lot. And then I don't expect everybody to do this kind of thing, because we have a family business, and because of that, there's always something to fall back to. But yeah, that's the only way that's helping me to move forward also. Because some things I know I'll have food and home and stuff, so I can focus on things ahead of that. And the same way, I think we should encourage the children to think ahead and take the torch ahead like that. This, if one generation can sort out certain things, then the next generation can move ahead and see what else possibilities there are. So yeah, there are so many like really rich people in the world, and they spend millions of dollars every day also, but they're not doing it for improving the planet, and they're doing it for their selfish things. So right now they're learning a good lesson through the lockdown, I guess. But yeah, this thing is really important to see. People, there are people who are coming out now, they're changing their lifestyles, especially because of social media. There's a lot of awareness on social media, and that's helping people to become more aware about what's more important and who they really are, what they really like. A lot of things are done to satisfy about what will people think, and more important than what will people think is what do you think about yourself and your own actions. So
Right.
yeah, it's really important to find somebody to look up to and try to get some experience by working with them or interacting with them. Ask people a lot of questions. I've met many people, and just by discussing things with them, I've learned so much, which no course would have taught me. I don't think there's these courses. Yeah, some people have asked me if I have a environmentalist degree or anything, but I don't think there's any course like that. There's no course to be an activist. And yeah, also the opposite of an activist is an inactivist.
Hmm.
So
And who's an activist?
yeah, people who don't consider themselves an activist, they're considering themselves inactive. So what is the definition for activist? That changes from person to person. That it doesn't mean that you have to be violent or aggressive or anything, but just being active. You have just by sending emails, just by making phone calls, just by going for these meetings with the authorities, we've been able to make so much difference. So for that, we get this label as an activist. But actually, we're just an active member of society, and the rest of the people are kind of inactive. And people can get active. There are so many things to get active about. Yeah, whatever your hobbies are, whatever your skills are, you can contribute that to the community, and wherever there's a will, there's a way. So yeah, people always keep messaging me about some guidance, how they can improve the environment in their own areas. So yeah, I always provide this consultation to people. I send them emails, I go for the meetings with different RWAs. And, like for example, this composting system, I'll show you a video right now, but yeah, it started with my own experience. I learned it at a friend's farm. So I had a friend in Bangalore, and I used to stay at his farm. It was totally away from civilization, no mobile network, no shops, nothing. And staying there made me realize some important things in life. So I also saw how the composting works in his farm, and from there, when I came back to Delhi, I started doing composting at my own house. And after a couple of years, I was able to show this composting to the RWA. And then with the RWA and the NCD, we yeah, we did a demo model of composting, and that demo model is working perfectly till now. It's been at least 3-4 years now, and the demo model is working great. All the colony kitchen waste is getting composted. The colony garden waste also from the parks, it's getting composted. Earlier they used to burn it, and yeah, I've stopped many fires in Delhi. These garbage fires, leaf fires. So I've personally got involved and extinguished these fires. Many times I've called the Delhi Fire Service. So wait, I'll just show you that composting video. It's a short 1-minute video.
This is my kitchen waste. My kitchen waste is composted at home. Dry waste is collected by the garbage collector, and sometimes he takes mixed waste too. The kitchen waste from many houses gets composted in these pits. The final product is sold for 10 rupees a kg. Garden waste is composted and spread in the parks. Unsegregated waste gets burnt nearby, or it reaches inside cows' stomachs. Air pollution in Delhi has poisonous chemicals. You can make a difference today. Start composting today.
Yeah, so as I was saying, I've called the Delhi Fire Service so many times. I've lost count how many times. Whenever I've seen a fire, or also when there are some animal emergencies, if a dog or a cat is stuck in the drain, or maybe some birds are stuck on the kite flying thread. So we can't reach it, then we call the Delhi Fire Service. They have all the tools, the equipment, the training, and yeah, they do a really good job. So they've always come and they've always helped. I've got really good feedback from them. Also, my work involves calling the Delhi police very regularly because we see people damaging trees and these animal rescues as well. So like almost every month, there are a few cases where I'm calling the police, and yeah, many times because of their help, we're able to do a lot of good work. But it definitely takes the initial effort of the citizen to get the work done. You know, when there's a fire burning on the side of the road, lakhs of people will just drive past it, but it only takes one person to make one phone call and wait for maybe 10-15 minutes, and the fire department or the local police would come there, and then they will handle the case. But making that call is important. If you don't make that call, nothing is going to happen. You'll be sitting and waiting, thinking that somebody else will do it. Why should I do it? But nobody else is going to do it. So you have to do it. And there are very less people who will actually get up and do something. The active people.
Very true. The active people, right. Yeah. And I think it's really nice that you are giving rise to those active people. Viren, one request that has been coming from the audience is probably you should try maybe pushing your volume up a little bit. Probably, some of the audience is not able to hear. So people in the audience who are not able to hear, you can probably use a nice set of earphones or headphones. And, Viren, you can probably try speaking a bit more loudly. So both of us will adjust, the audience and us.
So Aditya, I think we'll take one or two audience questions.
Definitely.
And then we'll move to Mr. Sim.
Absolutely.
Firstly, there's a question by Pushkar Das, who asks, as an environmentalist, what would you suggest for common people to make changes in their life to compensate for Amazon fires and the Australian bushfires?
Yeah, that's all based upon our demand for different products. And the demand for those products are affecting the forests over there. Those forests are getting burned by people Some of them are the natural fires, but some of the fires are being purposely burned to clear the forest so that they can have these plantations of things which come in your bottled products. There was one video done, I think, last year or the year before by Greenpeace of the chimp and the palm oil. So I don't know if anybody's seen that. You can find it on YouTube easily. That video shows that the palm oil products which we buy from our grocery stores, the demand for that is causing people to clear the forest and grow palm trees. So yeah, a lot of wildlife was losing their homes, and also a lot of pollution was being created. And these okay. I'm trying to talk towards the side of the mic. So yeah, so we need to see what are the necessary products that we buy in our home. Yeah, our consumption has a great impact on the environment, and by living minimalistically, by living more logically, you can have a great impact on the environment. You can make your roof green. You can keep food and water out for animals. Nobody waters their trees outside their homes anymore, so that's also very important. Even if it's just one glass of water in a day, if you put for the tree, it can make a big difference. Our groundwater table in Delhi is depleting. The entire city is getting concretized. The only place for rainwater to get into the ground is the parks and the soil space around the trees. So we need to save the soil space if we want water in our ground. Right now, I'm also working on reviving some water bodies in South Delhi. There used to be water bodies there before, and now it's not there anymore. So with the help of Delhi Jal Board and the court, NGT, Court Monitoring Committee, with their help, we're getting a lot of these water bodies revived. So yeah, this has been like one of the greatest achievements, that getting the water body revived. They've actually started the work, and soon, once it's filled, we'll be sharing pictures online.
Great, awesome. We have another question by Anita ji, who asks, why did you become a pilot? Where did you get inspiration from, and or who inspired
you? That's an easy question. My father's best friend was he's still a commercial pilot. So earlier he was an Air Force pilot in India. And yeah, so I got to see the planes up close, and I guess it was also kind of my father's dream to make me a pilot. So I was really good at flying, and I was also teaching because it was in US, we had Indian students and we had American teachers. So because I was doing well, so I was able to help the other Indian students to understand what the teachers are saying. Because when the teachers were teaching, there was some gap, so many students didn't do well, and then with my training, they started doing well. Also with my friends, we opened another flying school, and yeah, that's there in Florida only. I was trying to open another flying school here in India. Again, that was a really tough issue, because they kept asking us to travel from one place to the other, get different documents. And at the time, I was only, I think, 19 years old. So 19 or 20 max. Yeah. So it was a lot of work, and a lot of time was getting utilized, and we weren't getting anywhere. So yeah, I realized that I have to use my time more valuably, and I saw that protecting the environment is the need of the hour. As showed in one of the videos, if children are not connected with nature, they will not fight to save it. And today we see that happening around us. There's also a disease in big cities called tree blindness. People cannot see trees around them. Sometimes they walk into the trees, sometimes they drive into the trees, and if a tree is cut outside the house, they won't even notice that it's missing. So, yeah, this is a very serious disease. There's actually a scientific report made on it, and we had shared it on our Facebook page recently. Yeah, connecting with trees is important. Trees are alive, they're growing, they outlive us. So many human generations will come and go, but that tree will still be staying there and providing oxygen and food and everything. So yeah, I'll share another short video. This is about tree climbing. This is the best way to connect people with trees.
Meet an environmentalist in the capital who's doing his bit to save Delhi.
Perfect idea for Sunday, climb a tree.
Just to come, to just relax a bit.
We need to save trees right now. One day someone's going to come with a legal paper to try to cut it, and you have to try to save it. Make sure the trees are there for us to be there. So yeah, we got people of all age groups to climb trees, from small children as young as 3-4 years old to senior citizens also, as, I don't know, maybe in the 80s or 90s. Yeah, the senior citizens, when they climb their trees, they remember their childhood and they feel happy, and they don't want to come down from the tree because they're sitting on the tree after like 40 or 50 years gap. So yeah, it's got a lot of positive energy. Even, there's this Japanese term called Shirin Yoku, which translates to forest bathing. So just by spending time in the forest, you can absorb the positive energy of the forest, and when you leave the forest, you feel much better. You feel more positive. So if you're having any negative emotions like anger, sadness, or any depression or anything, you can always go and spend some time in nature, maybe hug a tree, and after some time you will feel much better. All those problems will disappear. This is a grounding effect of nature. Like we have for all our electronics, there's the earthing wire. If there's too much load in your electronics, it goes into the earth. So the green wire. Same way, if you have all this built up negative energy, by walking barefoot on the soil or by being in contact with nature, you can ground out that negative energy and you will feel better. Because we walk around with rubber sole shoes everywhere we go, we're not connected with the ground. and all this negative energy starts building up, especially like stress and some health problems also are connected with that. So it's very important to stay connected with nature. So we have some nature walks, which also include, sometimes it includes meditation, sometimes it includes sound healing. So yeah, we do different creative activities like that. I can show you another quick short video which talks about something like that. Yeah, so a lot of people join us for these nature walks and they really enjoy it. So they always come back for more. And many times they also organize, like with a private group of friends or a family group, maybe a colony group sometimes. So they create a group and then they contact me to organize a nature walk with them. And then we go and explore different big green areas around Delhi. Because people are so used to going to the malls and restaurants and markets, but they're not going to the big green spaces. And these green spaces for builders and constructors, construction companies, they look at the map, wherever they see something green, they decide to create their ugly structures over there. So yeah, if more people are connected with that green area, then there's better chances of these green areas to be protected. So yeah, we take school children there. We take, children have birthday parties also, like tree climbing birthday parties, and then even like nature walks. Sometimes we like walk in the wild side. Kids like that thing, so they feel connected with nature. Most of us might remember that the first time we found a nice stick in nature. Children have these things that they find a stick which they like and they hold on to that stick for a very long time. So it comes naturally, and these kind of experiences have to be there for children. So I can show you a short video of when we took the children out. I'll quickly show another video. Yeah. This is there were 16,500 trees going to get cut down in South Delhi. So we were doing this awareness program to get people to learn about all the trees which are going to be cut.
I guess Mr. Sen will absolutely hate me for this. Almost 55 minutes के बाद उनके पास आ रहा है. But finally, over to you, Mr. Sen, if you have anything to.
Thank you so much. Welcome to the show, Verhaen. It's been a very interesting kaleidoscope of nature that you shared with all of us, including the audience. Now, it's a fact that climate change is one of the most lucrative and paying careers in the world today. And you have all these big consulting companies, international consulting companies, who pay millions of dollars to have climate change professionals who can advise different governments and all that. In India, we see a lack of it. In India, we see a total lack of a conscious effort to understand our environment and what it means to us. On one hand, we talk about the great Indian heritage, which was actually built around trees, if I may say so. But what we lose focus here is the trees themselves. And from ancient times and around the world, and I know this for a fact, and I'm sure you know this, if somebody wants to leave a legacy behind, and he talked about it, you plant a tree. Because the tree will leave your legacy behind long after you have gone from this earth. It will house the birds, it will house the shade, and there'll be shade for people to go and rest in it, enjoy the tree. And it's also a proven scientific fact that if you speak to trees, you can talk to trees, and the trees can hear you.
Yeah.
And they can actually communicate with you like a person. And it's a fact of life, and I've seen it, I've seen that happen. My very specific question to you is, given all this, and given the fact that India has perhaps the longest running living heritage in the world, why is it that we do not have a focus on environment and climate change? And by the way, the Paris Declaration of Climate Change, India is the champion in that. India is leading that today. So why is it that we do not have climate change and environment, and we have a huge marine coastline, a primary focused career choice in India? Why is it that in India, we are only running after the bricks and mortars, the software, and all that electronic thing? And by the way, the software with all this 4G technology and 5G technology, it's pretty harmful for nature. It kills off birds, it kills off trees, it kills off the greenery. We know that. In spite of that, there is a proliferation of all that? True, we are working from home. There has to be another way around it. So why is it again that in India we do not have a focus on climate change? And mind you, it's one of the most paying careers in the world. It pays much more than software engineers. It pays much more than any other engineer by far. I know it. And why is it it's not a mainstream career in India? And what do we need to do? What do we need to do to make it a mainstream career in India?
I think to make it a mainstream career, we have to connect all kinds of education and skills to the environment and to climate change. Because if we don't show that connection, then because of that disconnect, people are getting distracted with these different materialistic things. But what's most important is getting left out. Our Ministry of Environment right now has a few weak links somewhere in their system. For this South Delhi project, we found that in the documents were all forged and plagiarized from different other documents. And then our Ministry of Environment had given clearance to remove the environment based on those wrong facts in the documents. Now, you might think it might be a typo or something, but actually, like there was one page which said types of trees in this area, and they had put names of different animals. And that document has the clearance. There was another page which talked about the different rivers of South India which are flowing through South Delhi. So based on these wrong documents, they got clearance to chop down all the trees in 7 colonies of South Delhi. Imagine that, such a big space, 16,500 trees, covers 7 colonies, and they got the clearance with all these fake documents. So our current environment minister is also really fantastic. He's very proud of giving clearances to different businesses and industries. Whereas the environment minister in other countries, they're there to protect the environment. I think the one which we have at the moment, he's more interested in being the environment salesman. So he's making sure that the businesses go on, a lot of money is moved from one place to the other. And yeah, I've seen that destroying the environment has more money involved than protecting the environment.
Is it?
We have a mountain.
We have destroyed the environment, and the economic cost of that is $10 trillion and counting as of date. This $10 trillion happened in the last 1.5 months. And we are still counting.
That's what people don't see.
It's going to go up to maybe 20 or 30 trillion dollars. And who's going to pay for it? It's not going to come from the air.
It will be the next generation who will be suffering.
It's going to be paid by next hundreds of years to come. That is the legacy we are going to leave behind for our children.
Yeah, people are selfish. They just see the short-term profit.
And yeah, I know. So again, I want to ask you a last question from my side. In the school curriculum, the moment the student hits a 9th or a 10th or whatever, all this and 3 things vanish, which I think is something that's going to be a permanent feature going forward, is health, safety, and environment.
Yeah.
And I think what happens is the people get so bogged down in running and understanding Pythagoras' theorem and some physics theorem and all that mathematics and everything. We forget the environment and our own safety. The 2 of them are very linked with each other, and the health, which all of them are linked. And there is absolutely no window for a child to get exposure in these three fields. And you're doing that stuff with the school, but that's outside the main curriculum.
Yeah.
It's more of a voluntary, it's more of an outing, it's more of a project work.
Yeah, it's an extracurricular activity.
It's an extracurricular activity, right? It does not count. There is no credit for it.
Yeah. There should be exams for proper.
How would you, Verhaen, having pioneered this great journey of nature and loving nature? By the way, I'm also a very strong nature person, and we'll get into that later. But how would you, Verhaen, implant this idea into the schools so that they teach the children health, safety, and above all, the environment and how it affects them and how we react to it, respond to it? I don't think first of all, we could not have afforded this COVID virus. It's there on us. It's worse than a pandemic, if there is a word for that. Because what we have done is for the next, I don't know how many generations, we have simply jeopardized it.
Yeah.
That's all because we were running after something called the green buck, which is coming out of the electronics and the software and all that sort of things. So how would you make that change, or what is your prescription for the change, if there is any, if at all?
Yeah, I think in schools, they should have at least one or more, at least 2 or 3 classes a week should be there based on environment sciences. And at the end of the year or end of the semester, they could be examined on those things so that it's taken more seriously and it's not just a fun activity or there's no class or done about the environment. It should be. I did this in Mira Model School, so class 9th and 11th I was teaching, and I actually examined the children based on the things that they learned. And I also, I taught them how to write a petition, sign a petition with the whole class, and get the principal to take action on protecting the environment. And then they were asked questions in the exam about that, how to get the petition started and all. So yeah, these things are important, and these are the actual skills that you need once you're out of school. Yeah, when people are out of school, they're around 16, 17, maybe 18 years old, and they're forced to decide what they want to do for their entire life. So I think that's also a little unfair. They need some time to get exposed to the outside world and learn what all is happening, and only when you have different experiences, then you will realize what you like and what you don't like, and then you can see what you're good at, see what you're not good at, and based on that you can take it forward and choose your career path more wisely. Getting experience is really important, I think, especially from experts.
Thank you very much. Yes, we need to have that in the schools. Samant, you have some questions from the audience?
No, I guess we've already gone to 1 hour 10 minutes now. So I guess it's a good time to end on. Time का पता ही नहीं चला. The conversation was going on, so इसीलिए मैंने भी कहीं interrupt नहीं किया कि okay, we need to get to this, we need to address this or that. So let the conversation go. So firstly, I have a comment from Krishna ji, who says, "Great, proud of you, sir. We need more people like you." And yep. So on that note, I guess और एक random question उठाने के बदले अगर किसी के मन में जो, but I guess this is a good note to end on, a good note to wrap up on. We've learned so much about how we can connect with the nature. हम लोग the first thing we always talk about is कैसे नेचर को बचा सकते हैं, लेकिन नेचर को बचाना छोड़ो भाई, पहले फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल कनेक्ट विद द नेचर. बचाने का उसके बाद में फिगर आउट करते हैं ना, पहले कनेक्ट विद द एनवायरनमेंट अराउंड यू.
पहले acknowledge there is nature.
Right, curing the tree blindness. Yep.
Right.
First acknowledge it's there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess firstly, before we officially wrap this up, Viren, any final words from you?
This tree saving app which we are working on, it's being made just with the contributions of different people. We started a crowdfunding campaign for it. So if anybody would like to contribute, you can connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we'll share the details with you. And stay safe through the lockdown. Stay healthy. Take care of yourself and people around you. And once the lockdown's over, we can focus on the environment. Environment is taking care of itself right now.
Right.
Aditya, if you can post the social medias for New Delhi Nature Society, I guess people would be, they can connect with them easier.
Sure, I'll post it in the comment section.
Great. Virenji, just one last, very minor question. I'm not even sure if this is a question but okay, anyway. ये जो आपने बाल और दाढ़ी बढ़ाया था, was it during the last month of quarantine or was this a long?
I'll answer that on behalf of beard. Okay, hold on. I think that beard is seen quite a few years in its making, and I think once you started the nature, his work with the environment and nature, that's the time when he's been sporting that beard.
Yeah.
Mr. Sen, you're deconstructing my joke here now. But anyway, this particular quote, for the next generation, for the students watching our page, ये मैं बताना चाहता हूँ before we actually end this. This is a quote by Verhaen Khanna, obviously. If children are not connected with nature, they will not fight to save it.
Very true.
So I guess keeping that in mind, firstly, Mr. Sen, Aditya, and all the audience members, thank you so much for being with us today. And of course, Mr. Verhaen Khanna, thank you so much for being with us. Nature के बारे में बताने के लिए, and all about how to connect with nature, how to cure our tree blindness. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. Krishna already says we want 2.0. So definitely we'll try to figure that out. Schedule के हिसाब से we'll definitely try to bring a 2.0. Until that time, guys, stay indoors, stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you tomorrow same time at 6 p.m. on Facebook. Follow, like our page, and turn on post notifications to get notified when we do go live. So having said that, take care. Best wishes to you and your families. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thank you.